Welcome back to the next episode of HearthSide Season 1. I believe it is episode 7, technically, possibly episode 8. It's kind of hard to remember at this point because I haven't finished editing the previous episodes. But if you remember, at the last episode, the server got griefed. Like, things got wrecked, things got destroyed. And we had to try and go around and figure out what we were going to be able to do about it. And as you can probably look and see now, things are looking a lot better, a lot more finished. I've got some soul lanterns and soul torches placed all over the place because we were able to fix the griefing, essentially. And it's a little bit more complex of a fix than to just roll everything back to a previous state. We could have done that. Our server is set to make backups every 6 hours, but there was a lot of work outside of the griefed area that some people had been working on and doing, and we really didn't want to lose the progress just because one bad egg came on to the server and decided to try and ruin the experience for everyone else. So what we did instead was look at the griefed area, which was mainly the spawn area and my house and a couple of other people's bases as well that may need to still get repaired. I have to check and see if Viking, the server owner, was able to go and complete those repairs, and we'll call it a spot rollback or a region rollback. And what we're able to do is use some special tools in order to fix and kind of figure out what needed to be fixed. Let me just kind of break it down. Let's just do that. It's trying to explain it all in a really succinct manner, which I wasn't 100% prepared for. But we'll break it down super easily on what we are able to do to fix the server problem. So pressing F3 and G is going to show us our chunk borders, right? So a chunk is a 16 by 16 block area. As you can see, that looks really trippy. When you're in a chunk, as you can see, we have these blue lines are showing the border of the chunk itself. The red lines going up and down, those are going to show us the border or bounding box of chunks that are immediately adjacent to us. So you can see the red lines kind of disappear. So anyways, a chunk is 16 by 16 area. Minecraft saves chunks in what are called regions. And a region is a 32 chunk by 32 chunk area. So it's a lot larger than just your 16 by 16 area. It's actually 512 by 512 blocks. So what we were able to do, because the griefer had only actually managed to really mess up and destroy parts of spawn, which happened to fall into just really 2 regions, and there were a couple other people's bases as well that are going to need some spot repairs. He wasn't able to do too terribly much. Basically what we were able to do was download one of our backups. Always make sure that your server is set to automatically backup. So we downloaded the most recent backup prior to the griefer coming on and starting to destroy everything. And it was fortunate for us. It turned out that the world backed itself up pretty much less than 15 minutes before Pripyat, the person who ended up destroying everything, actually came online and started to destroy everything. So we had about the perfect circumstance possible to do this type of fix. 15-minute rollback in select areas versus doing an entire server rollback that would have been over 6 to 12 hours out of date. We were able to kind of spot pull certain region files out. So when you're going into your Minecraft directory, if you're a server owner, what you can go into is your main directory. You'll see that there is going to be a file that's called the region file. You also should see a dim1 and a dim-1 file in that main directory or folder in that main directory. Those folders are the region data for the nether dimension as well as for the end dimension. The region folder in the main directory is the region data for your overworld. So going on to dinnerbone.com, you can actually just Google dinnerbone region calculator or something like that, and it will actually pop up with this useful tool on dinnerbone.com that allows you to calculate which region file a particular set of coordinates are in. So for example, I wish I could move this, but you see your X, Y, and Z over here of negative 10,279 and our Z coordinate of right now 4,458. So you can just pop those coordinates of the affected area into this calculator and it'll tell you what the region file is. In our case, it was region file negative 21.7.mca. What that calculator, and the reason why I would suggest using that particular calculator, what it also will do is it'll show you or tell you the bounding boxes of that particular region. So it'll tell you that, hey, that particular region file, negative 21.7, it contains your coordinates from one corner to the opposite diagonal corner. So it'll tell you exactly what it encompasses. From there, you can just kind of, if you're a server admin, you can hop into creative mode or spectator mode and kind of fly the bounding box. I always find it's useful to turn your chunk borders on while doing that to make sure you're flying in a straight line and see if that one particular region will completely encompass the griefed area or not. In our case, spawn is literally like built on the border of a region, and so it was actually needed for us to have two separate region files that we had to roll back. So it was really simple. All you actually need to do is, once you know which region files that you need to roll back, you can download your most recent world update, extract the files into their own folder, go into that particular directory's region files and copy. I just turned on sticky keys again, but you can copy the affected region files and just kind of keep them on your clipboard. Then what you can do, and I always recommend doing this first before you actually go and edit any sort of region file, obviously shut down your server, make a manual backup so that if you do mess anything up, you'll be able to just roll it back by a couple minutes. Go into your server's region files, delete the affected region files, and replace them with the ones from your unaffected backup. You're basically, instead of rolling back the entire server, you're rolling back the data on just in our case, a 512 by 1024 block area, which happened to also include, I almost walked off the edge there, included my house. Whoa, that's a creeper. That's a different type of griefing right there. Mob griefing. Yikes, that was scary. But what you can also see is that all of my chests are now back in place. Everyone else's builds that people worked really hard on at spawn are back in place. There are a lot of different things that were affected by the griefer that are things that you just can't really fix otherwise without doing a rollback. One of those things that you can't really do much about. Oh my gosh. Apparently these this light source is not good enough to prevent mobs from spawning. I'm going to have to work on that. But things like villagers with locked-in trades, which the guy went and blew up villagers and killed our villagers, that people had been cycling through and working on a trading system and trying to build a trading hall, and had gotten, your Silk Touch, your Efficiency 5, all of your other different... light level 5 right through here. Let's fix that. Yeah, it's gonna take some work. We're gonna need to get some more light up around here. But yeah, so all of your different villager trades and everything else that you've worked on that you cannot do anything about. Um, you can't just reverse those. You'd have to, even if you could manually replace the villagers, and technically it may be possible. Actually, it should be possible using something like MC Stacker to get the exact same type of villager set up. The odds of someone actually knowing exactly what type of villagers they had set up are relatively low. Might say, oh, I had an efficiency 4 villager, but I don't remember how many emeralds I currently had it set to. I don't know how much experience the villager had, what level he was, all sorts of different factors like that that are just really, really a pain in the rear to go through. It's way, way harder to manually fix all of these problems than it is to just go in and do a rollback. But a rollback is one of the most frustrating things that you could possibly do. But instead, we're able to come through, do our little spot region rollbacks, and fix all of the problems. It's a little icy up here. But yeah, it helps from a server perspective and helps from the community's perspective because you don't have issues with having to have people come back and try and regain hours of progress. And in our case, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, we kind of told them to not go on the server until we could try and fix the griefing issue, and try and see if we either needed to roll it back the whole way or not. You can always do that as an option, just tell people to stay offline, but it's honestly better sometimes to just basically do what we did. Say, hey, stay out of relatively affected areas. We'll try and see what we can do and fix it. It's a more complex fix, and it is definitely takes a little bit more effort and a little bit more knowledge than your standard just restore a previous version of the server. But personally, I feel like it's the right thing to do for the community. It allows people to still continue to play on the server until staff members are able to actually come online and try and repair the things that have been broken. And it also kind of just, takes it to the griefer's face a little bit and is kind of a way of, flipping him the bird and telling him to buzz off because, look, I know you blew up all of my chests, but look at this. I have all of my diamond blocks and diamonds. I've got everything. I have my single netherite ingot and all of the other stuff that's not really that much. I mean, it really isn't. It wouldn't be that big of a deal for me to recover because I've been working on just building my house and I haven't really been working on doing any sort of farms or anything else like that. And my house is so simple and straightforward that it's really not that complicated of a thing for me to fix either. But it's the right thing to try and do, to either roll stuff back or to basically erase what the griefer did. And I definitely think that it's something that every server owner, operator, admin should have the knowledge of how to do. And if you are a server owner or operator and you don't have automatic backups set up for your server, I would recommend that you have your server back up itself at least 4 times a day, give or take, right? Ours does at midnight, I think 6 a.m., noon, 6 p.m., and then midnight again. So, that's 4 times a day. So it's updated pretty frequently, not updated, backed up pretty frequently, just in case, things go awry. And whether that's because we break something, like I've broken a server before with a stupid way of trying to set up Dynmap, or whether it gets broken deliberately by people who just want to try and ruin the fun for everyone else. Backing up your server is probably one of the most critical things that you should do as a owner or admin. So learn how to do it, learn how region files work, and then you can save yourself a lot of grief. see what I did there? But yeah, for now, back to business as usual, which right now is going to be strip mining and trying to get myself some diamonds so I can get some diamond gear, because the iron armor is just not going to be able to continue to cut it for that much longer. I really want to get myself some diamond gear, and I really want to get myself some fire protection. So that's what we're going to spend a little bit of time doing, going ahead and getting our mining game on. So let's what do they say? Let's get ready to rumble, but not really. I'm going to go ahead and just do a 1 hour probably mining session. You can check my inventory ahead of time. We've got 3 gunpowder and a rotten flesh. Let's see how many diamonds and iron and other resources we can gather in just 1 hour. All right, been about an hour, and this is kind of what we got. We got 13 diamonds, 27 gold ore, a stack and 1 of lapis, a stack and a little bit over a stack and a half of iron ore, 5 1/4 stacks of coal, and almost 4 stacks of redstone dust. And we really weren't going after all of the resources that hard. And then, of course, tons and tons of cobblestone, which is always handy to have a good supply of that. So I think that it is high time that we hightailed it out of here. Oh, that's kind of cool. You can see all of the other caves there. That really might be something Mojang wants to look at possibly trying to fix, because that's a really easy way of, oh crap, there's a skeleton. Really easy way of kind of exploiting the game and kind of finding different cave systems. Let's actually take a closer look at that. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, look at this. So I'm running along in a too tall one, and I can literally just run like this, and I can see where there are caves above me without too much difficulty whatsoever. Now, it's not the easiest thing in the world, but you know, if I was like, oh, what's over here? There's a cave system over this way that I want to check out. It definitely makes it a little bit too easy to do. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good stopping point for our mining efforts for the day. We're going to go ahead and start getting some of this stuff into a smelting system. There is actually a super smelter that has been built for community use at spawn. So we're going to head over towards spawn and get our iron ore. Oh, we had a whole nother stack of iron ore I hadn't even noticed. But we're going to go and get that smelted up and then make our way back over here. Looks like the skeleton grinder entrance has been done up just a little bit, and we now have this lovely, relatively safe road that we can use to make our way back to spawn. I know this was a partial effort by Viking. I can't remember who was working on it. I think maybe Redstone Panda. I really need to pay more attention to some of the things that are going on the server. But yeah, look at this. This is neat. I'm not going to say that I couldn't build something like this, because I think that given enough time I could come pretty close, but God, this is really clever. And I think the idea is that as things kind of get built up, we can kind of just break down these little areas in between the I don't even know what you call this, the arches, and use that to make entrances to different shops and mini games and things like that. So should be pretty fun times. Pathway system under construction. Hello, server folk. You might be wondering why there's a massive stone circle right next to spawn. When you see this in the unified... you see this is the unified server path. Soon I will be placing paths like this across the server around to community farms and shops. Why is the path ugly? It's very simple. The path goes past your base. Please feel free to detail it with the theme of your base so it can look good. Very nice indeed. I love this design, and I might find myself making a little pathway going up towards my house and towards my base, I do need to kind of figure out a better entrance, because right now it still involves dropping down the drop chute and then heading up the bubble vader. So we'll work on that. I love super smelters. They are so nice. This is not my gold. It's like a lot of kelp is also getting smelted, which I guess is fine. Can use it for fuel source. But just gonna let the iron start to flow here, hopefully pretty soon. A lot of kelp blocks that need to get, or kelp in general that needs to get smelted up first. So that's gonna put a little bit of a delay on my smeltering, but not too terribly much. Yeah, so torch spam the place up a little bit. We definitely need to figure out a way of lighting this place up, because I walked back up here after smelting everything, and yeah, there were mobs running around the house. So yep, there's light level 6. I just saw it somewhere. Where was it? Here. Yeah, these soulfire torches and soulfire and soulfire lanterns don't light up things quite as well, it seems like, as a regular torch does. And that's kind of annoying. Also, I just realized that I hadn't, well, one, I don't know if I should cover this up with another layer of concrete or not, but I definitely know that I'm have a little bit of a gap up there and up here as well that's kind of exposed. So I think, let's see, I haven't moved anything really up here yet. I do have some glass. I could glass it up, or I could, where did I, birch slabs on this section, and probably birch slabs as well as a row of concrete up here. That's better? Yeah, that's better. It's nice to not have a little bit of a draft in the house, you know? Yes. Waza! Because why not? Yeah, and I know I'm just randomly throwing stuff in the chests. Sue me. But, yeah, let's just kind of go over, trying to get back in the swing of things. Let's just try and go over a little bit of some of the stuff that I've done here at the house. I still haven't fixed this. I know what to do to fix it. I just haven't put in a fireplace, and it is a legit fireplace. Like, that actually goes all the way up. Really kind of modern look to it. It's kind of almost looks what you'd expect, like propane gas sort of fireplace. So we've got that. We've put in more chests up here, moved my bed up here as well. I'm going to put, although it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, I'm going to have to move the crafting table. That's not a big deal. We'll just stick that. I like symmetry. So if I put a crafting table here, I'm also going to want to put one elsewhere, which is the annoying part. I'll want to put one over here. But this will just get filled. Actually, you know what I could do? I could be smart and I could just put the crafting table there, because I need a full block space. I probably still could have actually put the item frames there, but I just, yeah. So all of them are going to have item frames on them, so I know exactly what every bit is. This was already done, but at least it's repaired and replaced because we don't have any griefing issues on the server. And I also started working on the infinity pool, which if you look down, you can see, which it's not really deep enough to dive into, but stairs coming out of it. I think I'm going to add stairs on either side of this section as well, like corner stairs. If I can get them to go corner, it shouldn't be too bad. And then I mined out the area underneath here, so it literally just drops, so you can look right down and see all the way through. And it's all done with cyan stained glass blocks. And then over here is going to be a deck made with birch planks, which right now this is the temporary solution that I've come up with for the pool because it does that. It's high enough that it's going to freeze over if it has sky access. So I'm trying to figure out a better solution. I think what's probably going to end up happening is up here at this section of the landing is literally where the roof is, and here is the fireplace. And I think what I might do is add another section that comes out over here. Maybe use it as like an enchanting room setup or something like that. I'm not entirely certain. I haven't quite figured all of the details out yet, but there are a couple of other projects and things that I'd like to start working on. One of them is kind of mining out the underneath area, because right now, as you've probably seen multiple times, it's just a mountain and it's a long way down, and I've got a good amount of real estate underneath here that I can start utilizing, mining out and building different farms and different things underneath there, maybe actual item sorting system, things like that. I don't know. I haven't quite figured out all the plans, but I know one of the big things that it is time to start working on are micro farms of different types. So probably work on getting a cactus farm going underneath here, and probably also on top of the cactus farm, not literally, but off to the side, cactus farm somewhere down in here, as well as a bamboo farm, and we're going to use that as a smelting XP system. So that way I will have, I'll have plenty of green dye, which will be useful for any making of cyan dye, but the main thing is that it'll also enable me to store experience points pretty easily and have a good source of that, because I just want to have a passive XP system where I can literally AFK and gather and store XP. And so that's something that's on the book. I think what we're going to do starting tomorrow in the next episode is going to be, mining out the area for the beginning of our cactus green farm. We're not going to need a whole heck of a lot. Cactus grows fairly quickly as it is, and so I think we can probably get away with something like I'm going to guess, just laying it out. Where are my dirt blocks? Let's see, going down from about here, that's 6 by probably 6, so 36 on a single layer, and then having 2 to 3 layers should be plenty on the cactus side of things, for one, supplying us with all the cactus and green dye that we could ever possibly need this season, as well as things to smelt down. It really isn't going to be a heck of a lot. So anyways, that I think is all the time that I have got for today. If you liked the video and have been enjoying the series thus far, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have issues with griefing on your server and have come up with some good solutions on how you handle it, besides different vetting processes for introducing or allowing new players onto your server, or different tools and methods that you've used to mitigate and repair griefing efforts by those sort of people who like to ruin the fun for everyone else, go ahead and leave that in the comment box. I would love to get other people's opinions and ideas and kind of share different strategies that we can use to defeat the people who try to ruin our fun. If you're enjoying the series thus far, go ahead, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit that little bell notification button, because That's about the only way that you'll really, at this point, consistently know when there is a new episode of HearthSide out, because I do not have a set schedule for releasing videos at this point in time. But with all of that, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!